So I don't know how many of you remember this card. And I did this quite a few years ago. So hopefully you remember this. And I wanted to do a triple accordion card. So we're not doing this card per se. We're doing a mashup card. So I wanted to do a triple accordion card, but I suddenly thought, oh, can we supersize it? And I thought, yes, we can. So we are going to do a mashup of the pop-up Diamond Z-Fold card amalgamated with the triple accordion card. So if anybody doesn't know what a triple accordion card is, this is a triple accordion card. So this is the card we are making to start with. And then what we're going to do, I'm just going to make this one first. And then I've cut out 2 lots of bits. So I've cut out 1 lot just to make this again so you can see. So if you want to go simple, you can go simple. If you want to go for the supersized version of this that gets mashed up with the pop-up Diamond Z-Fold card, then you can go on to the next step. So stay till the end. If you want to go for the more advanced one, then stay till the end because I'm going to show you the more advanced one at the end. So we're going to start with this base first, and then we're going to move into the supersize things. So yes, this is the simple one, 5x7, nice and easy. You can do what you want with it. You can really go to town. I've kept this simple because it's for a bloke. That's where you can put so you've got 2 options. You can either put your messages there, or you can put a white piece on the back and put it on the back. It's really up to you. I thought I'd put it there. However, for the supersized version, you're going to need to put it on the back because there's something, because you're going to have things in the way here, so you won't be able to put it there. If you want to, you can put patterns here and here, but I'm going to keep it simple because otherwise it gets quite chunky. So you just need to be careful of that. So that's the card we're doing today. So let's bring in my bits and pieces. So as you can see, this is, I was saying about the bonus pages. This is one off the bonus page. And then have I cut some more bits out? No, I haven't. I'm probably going to cut some more bits out. So this is that paper. And then what I did was I just supersized them and, increased them and shrunk them and whatever. So you've got a real mix. I've also cut out a couple of things. I'm not quite sure if I want that happy birthday, if I want that happy birthday. So this is the, you probably recognise these dies. These dies are from In Love Art Shop. So if you use my code Iced Images, you'll get 20% off your order. And I do like these dies. They are fabulous. And they're so useful because you've got all the different sentiments, the special friend, with love, thank you, just for you, etc. Best wishes. There's loads. So yeah, so I've cut this out and I've used that black, the black and the white glitter adhesive sheets from DRK Crafts. I've used that for the happy birthday because although it's glittery, and I wouldn't normally use glitter on a mail card, it's quite a matte glitter. So it's quite nice. It's got a little bit of texture, a little bit of shine, but it's not overly. Okay, so for this card, you are going to need, when it comes to base card, you're going to need 1 piece of 5x7, and you're not going to do anything with that. Okay, so the 5x7, you don't need to score. That can just stay as a 5x7. Then you've got another piece, which is 7 by 9.5. So on the 7 by 9.5, you're going to go ahead and score at 1.5, at 3, at 6, and at 9. Okay, so that is all of your scoring. So yeah, so then on your first score line, which is your 1.5-inch score line, that's going to be a mountain. Then you're going to go for a valley. And then you're going to go for a mountain, so obviously you're concertinaing. And then you're going to go for a valley. Okay, so there we go. So you end up with that. So you want it to be that way around. So you've got mountain, valley, mountain, valley. That's that. Then your 5x7 is going to stick over that tab there. So you can either use wet glue or you can use red tape. You need something strong. So I would suggest you don't use just normal double-sided. So then I put some glue on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in, butt it up against that score line, and then fold my tab over the top, because if you do it that way, it's definitely going to fold in your envelope. So that gives you that, which is your card base. Then what you need is, if you're doing the simple option, you need one piece of mat that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and one piece of pattern which is 4.5 by 6.5, and you're just going to stick that in the back of your card. And if you're doing the more advanced bit, we'll come on to that in a minute, you're going to need 2 bits of mat. But I've got all my bits cut out again, so we can go through that when we get to it. So I'll just stick with the simple version for now. Then we need one piece of mat that is 2 3/4 by 6 3/4, and one piece of pattern that's 2.5 by 6.5, and that's going to go on there. And then, so you actually need 2 bits of mat that are 2 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then you need obviously the one pattern that's 2.5 by 6.5, but you also need a white piece that's 2.5 by 6.5. So that is going to go on that panel there. If you want to put a piece on here, you can, but I'm not going to because it just adds extra wodge. So in which case you need one piece of mat that's 1 1/4 by 6 3/4, and one piece of pattern that's 1 inch by 6.5. And that is going to go on the front. So there you go. So there's your basic accordion. And then all we need to do is go ahead and add, I'm going to put my car on this one and my happy birthday up there, I think. And then when it opens up, you've kind of got a nice kind of mix. So I'm just going to turn that over so I know where to stick it. But yeah, so there's your triple accordion. So there's your triple accordion card. If you want to change up your score lines, you can. So that's the basic version. Let's start off simple. So I've done my score lines as before. So I've done my 1.5, 3, 6, and 9 on my piece that was 7 by 9.5. I've got my 5 by 7. So we're going to go ahead and add that on. So this time we have one piece. Well, we've got 2 mats that are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. One's got a pattern on it that's 4.5 by 6.5, which is going to go there. The other piece of mat, you want a piece of white on it that's 4.5 by 6.5, and that's going to go on the back. So let's go ahead and stick that down. Right, so that's that. So then we're turning it over, still nice and easy. Then again, we've got one piece that is 2 3/4 by 6 3/4, and a piece of pattern that's 2.5 by 6.5. Right, and then the front piece, again, same as the other one. So this one is 1 1/4 by 6 3/4 for the mat, 1 inch by 6.5 for the pattern. So there you go. There's your simple accordion. Now, to supersize it, you are going to need, it does get chunky, I'll warn you, one piece of either the base or the mat, if the mat is thick enough, that is 1 inch approximately by 6. If it's a bit more than 1, it doesn't matter. As long as it's 6 inch long, that's the main thing. You also need another piece that's 1 approximately by 4. Again, if it's not quite 1, if it's 1.5, 1 1/4, it's an off strip, off cut, that's fine. Don't go too much, but it doesn't matter if it's just a little bit over. As long as it's 4 inches, that's the main thing. So what we need to do is bring our scoreboard back in again. And then what we're going to do is on the long one, the 1 by 6, we are going to score at 1.5, at 3, and at 4.5. On this one here, the 1 by 4, we're going to score at 1 inch, 2 inches, and 3 inches. And then we're just going to mounting fold them all. So now we need to bring our card back in again. And we're going to take this piece, which is the 6-inch one, and we're going to put glue on the two end pieces, so where the cut edges are, on the two end pieces there. Right, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to work out where roughly halfway is. You can measure it, which is probably a good idea actually. Let me measure it. But you know, if you don't want it, then you don't need to. So halfway is 3.5, and you want to make sure that that goes right into the creases and it's straight. Okay, now it does pop out a little bit there, but that doesn't matter because you're going to have something over the top of that in a minute, so you're not going to see it. So if you want to make that slightly shorter, you can, but I like it to be square. So we're just going to press that down. And when you open it up, you should have that little box stuck there. So this is where our pop-up diamond card is coming into play. The other thing I do like about the fact that you can sort of see it is it does help you guide where halfway is for this piece. So this piece here, again, we're going to put glue on those two loose edges, the cut edges, not the edges by the fold line, the other edges. So you're going to put glue on here, or red tape, either is fine. And then we are going to stick that in here, and again, make sure it is halfway. I reckon that's about halfway. You'll soon find out, because when you stick your other pieces on, you'll soon realise if it's not completely halfway, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so that's what you end up with. Okay, you've got two little steps going on. You can probably see where I'm going with this, can't you? So now you need 4 squares of base card that are 2.5 by 2.5. You need 4 squares of mat card that are 2.25 by 2.25, and you need 4 squares of pattern card that are 2 by 2. If you want to not bother with the mat, go for it. It just makes things easy if you don't, but and less chunky as well. But I quite like the look of the matted layer. For me, it just finishes it off. You're also going to need 3 pieces of base that are 2 by 2, 3 pieces of mat that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 3 pieces of pattern that are 1/2 by 1.5. Okay, so starting with this one here, what I'm going to do is get a little pencil. In fact, actually, let's just use a ruler. You can mark it if you want, but I don't really want to have to rub it off. So we're going to start with the largest squares. I'm just going to lay my ruler on, and we're going to take one of our squares, and it's going to stick on here, on this little step. And we want it so that when it's flat down, this point measures, like goes to where the halfway mark is. And we also want these to be, so you want it to be right. You want it to be the right way around. If you want to, you can make a little mark on here, which I think I'm going to do just because I don't really want to chance it. So let me just bring my ruler in. 3.5 is here. We'll put the tiniest little dot ever known to man. And then that is going to go on there. So I'm just going to flip it over so I can put glue. In fact, let me just put glue on the actual step. Makes it easy if you put glue on the actual step. So I'm going to put glue on here, because I know all of that is going to get it. It's going to be pretty much like that. So I'm just doing a little triangle of glue. And then we're going to take this one here, and that's going to go on like that. And because it's wet glue, I've got time to make sure. So we're sticking that down. So that's central. It does come over very, very slightly, but it's not even an 1/8, I don't think. So it's hung over like a 1/16. So I'm not bothered about that. If you want to make it so it fits, obviously if you shrink things down, like Anne was saying earlier on, it's not been that long, then yeah, you won't have that problem. So that is that one. Okay, so now with that one in place, we're going to take this one here, and this one is going to go so that this and this intersect. Is that the right word? Through this line here. Okay, so I'm going to turn it upside down. Going to add glue. Right, so this one's going to go on here. And line it up with the top and then line it up with the bottom. And then that means it should be nice and straight and everything. So that's going on there like that. I'm trying to make my tyres kind of go the same way. There we go. Then we're going to take another one. And that is going to go on the bottom. They will overlap ever so slightly, which is fine. Right, so there's your 3 pieces. So now you want to take your last remaining large one, and that's going to go on this step here. So we're going to put that, in fact, should I do this? No, that's that way around. No, actually, it's that way around. Yeah. So this one here, again, it's going to go on there, and you kind of want to make sure that you got an equal kind of border here. You do see a little bit of the step, but that's why I've gone with the black, because it's kind of, you could go with the base, so it kind of blends in a bit more. It's really up to you, you know, what, depending on what base you use, depending on what match you're using, work out what colour suits you best. Okay, so that's that one there. So then we're going to take the 3 smaller ones, the top and bottom. We're going to start with the top and bottom ones first. Let's do that one at the top. So, like that, I think. No, maybe like that. Like that. Okay, so at the top, it's going to literally come in line with the top. And it perfectly doesn't pop over the edge there. So you're just literally going to do it again. So the 2 points intersect with the, I don't know if that's the right word, but whatever the word is, they line up with the score line. Right, so that's that one there. And then I'm going to do that one on the bottom and that one in the middle, I think. And put this one over the top like that. Just make sure that obviously it lines up. So there is your 5x7 pop-up diamond triple accordion card. So as you can see, you've got lots of layers. The other thing as well, if you wanted to, you could make these into circles. You could do any shape really. I was toying with the idea of having 2 more squares on the side here in the corners, but I decided to leave it with a thingy bob, with a pointy bit. So then it's just a case of decorating. So there you have it, your finished card. And so as you see, it's a bit of a wow card, but it wasn't that difficult. And I can say it now, it's done. So there we go. There are your 3 cards. Your 2 simple ones if you want an easy life, and your more complicated one if you don't. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell because it will let you know when I go live, which is always useful. Yeah, and don't forget to add your thingy bobs, pictures of your makes from. So if you make these cards today, add them onto that Pinterest board. The link is in the description below. You'll see it. You should be able to just click on it. You should be able to just add. If you're having any problems adding or you have to request, just request and I can easily add you in. Thank you for joining me. Bye, everybody.